And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln, your host for ESPN's weekly national recap of horse racing. We begin in Southern California, Del Mar, for the richest race of the weekend, the $1 Million Pacific Classic. Another stop on our Racing to the Breeders' Cup series on ESPN, presented by Buick. Here are the conditions. Thoroughbreds 3 and up, 1.25 miles for $1 million. Let's meet the field. On the rail, the favorite Concern, the Breeders' Cup Classic winner at 8-5, Bloomin' Affair. Slew of Damascus, winner of $1.2 million. Then it's Soul of the Matter, closing in on $1 million. Tenner's Way, he's a millionaire at 5-2, the winner of the race last year. And on the outside, Cliente, trained by Ron McAnally. Here's the call now with Trevor Denman of Sunday's feature.
Deal for the $1 million Pacific Classic sent on their way. Concern broke a little inwards from the inside gate. As expected, Slew of Damascus immediately off to lead them. On the outside comes Tenner's Way, and Bloomin' Affair in the blue cap as a close-up third. Soul of the Matter is down at the rail. The long shot Cliente is racing up alongside of him, and Concern is quite content to trail them early. He's 8 lengths off the leader. Past the stands first time round, and Corey Nakatani dictates the pace on Slew of Damascus. Just a steady pace out here. He's not in any hurry at all. Tenner's Way is racing in second, and Bloomin' Affair is third. Soul of the Matter's dropped down onto the fence, and he scrapes the paint. Soul of the Matter kicks up to get third, just 2 lengths off them. Cliente is a close-up fifth, and Concern is last, 7 lengths off the leader. They move on to the backstretch in the Pacific Classic, and Slew of Damascus trying to take them as slow as he can. But Tenner's Way now starts to breathe down his neck on the outside, and Candisomo has Soul of the Matter a close-up third. Bloomin' Affair is fourth. Cliente is racing fifth, 4.5 off the leaders, and now Concern has 8 lengths to make up. They run to the half-mile, and Slew of Damascus tries to sneak away from them now. Slew of Damascus starts to open up a length and 3/4. Soul of the Matter at the rail. Tenner's Way's right there. Bloomin' Affair a close-up fourth, and here comes Concern moving in from last. He's fifth, only 4 off them. Cliente's last. They come to the quarter pole. Candisomo sees a hole for Soul of the Matter, and Soul of the Matter goes on to lead them. Slew of Damascus second, Tenner's Way on the outside, then Bloomin' Affair, and now Concern is having to be hard-ridden, but Concern's got 6 lengths to make up. Homeward bound, and Tenner's Way on the outside takes the lead, and Tenner's Way looks strong with a 16th of a mile to go in the Pacific Classic, and it's all over. Tenner's Way and Bobby Frankel have done it again. Tenner's Way wins by 4 to Soul of the Matter, Bloomin' Affair, Concern, Slew of Damascus, and Cliente was last.
Tenner's Way, who had not been to the winner's circle since last year's Pacific Classic, wins the $1 million race for the 2nd straight year. The 5-year-old son of Secretariat, owned and bred by Prince Khaled Abdullah's Judmont Farms, his newly inducted Hall of Fame trainer Bobby Frankel, his 4th win in this 5-year-old Pacific Classic. Frankel becomes the first trainer ever to win a $1 million race 4 years in a row. His jockey Eddie Delahousse, another Hall of Famer, recorded his 10th win in a $1 million race. Here's a look now at the Equibase results. Lengths behind the winner, the favorite Concern, you see there finishing 5th, and a comment line on Tenner's Way's victory. Well, after this week's racing, let's check in on the Caesars Palace Future Book. Now, this is for the Breeders' Cup Classic. No real changes among the top 4. Soul of the Matter getting supported 8-1. What about the Pacific Classic winner? Well, Tenner's Way's odds went from 40 down to 12-1. He's expected to go in one of the Breeders' Cup turf races. The Racehorse Digest is brought to you by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember, Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. By the American Quarter Horse Association, serving the American Quarter Horse racing industry and America's horse. By Brookside Farms. And by Allstate Insurance for home, auto, life, and business insurance. You're in good hands with Allstate. Now for the recap on the week just passed in harness racing, let's bring in Dave Johnson.
The Meadowlands closed out its harness meet last Saturday night with the $585,000 final of the Woodrow Wilson for 2-year-old pacers, topping a stakes-filled program that also included the finals of the Mistletoe Chalet and the Sweetheart Pace. In the Woodrow Wilson, there was one real stud in the field of 10. And that was a stud named Sue, the only freshman pacer yet to top the $100,000 mark in earnings. The 7-10 favorite took the lead early with driver George Brennan and was not about to give it up.
3/16 to go, and they're on their way home. And George Brennan goes to work on a stud named Sue, but he's got Campbell breathing down his neck with Live or Die. Right behind those two is Power Beach. In deep stretch, a stud named Sue has something left, and it's a stud named Sue.
Owned in part by trainer Liz Quesnel, a stud named Sue has now won 5 straight starts and has lost just once in 7 outings this season. In the $406,000 Mistletoe Chalet final for 3-year-old pacing fillies, the come-from-behind specialist, She's a Great Lady, was the stronger half of the favored 4 to 5 entry, and she was rolling on the outside coming off the final turn.
3/16 to go, and they're on their way home. They're closing in on You're Killing Me between Horse Elegant Clean, and over the far outside, She's a Great Lady. In deep stretch, Campbell has She's a Great Lady in full flight on the outside. And it's all She's a Great Lady. Campbell wins the Mistletoe Chalet for the 4th time with She's a Great Lady in 152 and 3.
Owned by the L&L Divisor Partnership and trained by Joe Holloway, She's a Great Lady was great enough to overcome a recent foot problem and post her 9th win in 18 starts this season. In the $571,000 Sweetheart for freshman filly pacers, On Her Way was overlooked at 5 to 1, despite entering the race with twice as much money won as any of the other 9 finalists. And she came through for her backers, pulling away down the stretch to win by an easy 2.5 lengths over Lady Buns in 154 4/5. On Her Way adds the Sweetheart to her wins in the La Paloma and Countess Adios and ups her bankroll to over $416,000 for owner Paul Ewell. 19 3-year-old pacers entered the $441,000 Adios at the Meadows on Saturday afternoon, and the 1 to 5 choice, David's Pass, was in unfamiliar territory in the final, on the lead and trying to hold off the others down the stretch.
David's Pass on the outside, Nick's Fantasy second, Neutrality Racing third, the outside Sansa flying fourth, 1/8 of a mile to go, David's Pass, Neutrality, Nick's Fantasy on the outside, down the stretch they come, it's David's Pass, Neutrality and Nick's Fantasy, David's Pass wins the Adios!
Owner Bob Suslow's David's Pass had not been on the lead at any point in any race this year until mid-stretch. But the new strategy worked this day, and he adds the Adios to wins in the North America Cup, Messenger, and the Meadowlands Pace. The Adios crowd also saw Pacific Rocket equal the fastest mile ever paced on a 5/8 mile track, tying the 150 1/5 mark that stablemate Riyadh set as a 3-year-old in the 1993 Adios.
It's back to the thoroughbreds now on the Racehorse Digest as we head to Saratoga Springs, New York. The feature at the Spa, Saturday's running of the Grade 1 Alabama Stakes for 3-year-old fillies at 1.25 miles. A sloppy track greeted the 9 Alabama fillies in a field that featured Coaching Club American Oaks winner Golden Bree and the winner of this year's Kentucky Oaks, John Oxley's Gal and a Ruckus. Both of the favorites and the rest of the fillies, though, chasing 42 to 1 long shot, Pretty Discreet.
In the field, turning for home. Pretty Discreet, the one to catch. Pretty Discreet has a 4-length lead and 1 furlong from the line. Friendly Beauty is second by 6. Rogue's Walk is running in third. They're in the last furlong, and Pretty Discreet is going to pull off a monstrous upset here in the slop at Saratoga. Pretty Discreet, 42 to 1 under Mike Smith.
It's why they call it the graveyard of favorites, as Pretty Discreet steals the spotlight at Saratoga, winning the Alabama. Second to her at 24 to 1 was Friendly Beauty. 13 to 1, Rogue's Walk was third, trained by Hall of Fame jockey Angel Cordero Jr. That meant, of course, some huge exotic payoffs. What happened to the favorites? Golden Bree came home 6th. Kentucky Oaks winner Gallon Ruckus finished 7th. Well, who is this long shot winner? Well, she's the first-time stakes winner by private account out of Pretty Persuasive. Pretty Discreet, a filly who hasn't won since last year, but that victory was also at Saratoga, also over a muddy track. Sunday at the Spa, the track upgraded to good, but that didn't help odds-on favorite Inside Information. Watch this, going right to her knees after the break. The 7-furlong ballerina for fillies and mares. Well, after that, there was no catching up for the private account filly. She and the rest of the field unable to catch Julie Crone in the Alan Jerkins-trained Classy Mirage. She took full advantage of the situation, posting a 6-length victory at odds of 5-1. Inside Information could do no better than second under jockey Mike Smith, who said he had intended to press the pace with the filly, but after the problem at the break, she was no factor. Classy Mirage's trainer, H. Alan Jerkins, who conditions the 5-year-old daughter of Storm Bird for Middletown Stables. Jerkins not sure where Classy Mirage will start next, but Chuck McGahee says that Inside Information is still very likely with September 16th Ruffian at Belmont. Well, amid all those beaten favorites, there was a betting choice who came through for the Saratoga crowd. We'll take you back to the race on Friday, the mile and an eighth, $110,000 Bernard Baruch. The pick here, the 92 winner of this race, 4 Stars All-Star.
They hit the top of the stretch. Pennine Ridge still in front. Pennine Ridge holding on to the lead. Turk Passer second. Grand Continental is third. On the far outside, Compadre 4 Stars All-Star hitting his best stride late. It is still Pennine Ridge, 4 Stars All-Star coming hard. And on the far outside, Compadre closing like a rocket. And Turk Passer under the line. 4 Stars All-Star wins it by a neck.
4 Stars All-Star, like his brother 4 Star Dave, two of the famed New York breds, always a threat at Saratoga, collecting his second Bernard Baruch victory for trainer Leo O'Brien and owner-breeder Richard Bomsey. On board for the win, champion jockey Jose Santos. 4 Stars All-Stars will start next in the September 2nd Belmont Breeders' Cup. We turn our attention now to the 2-year-olds, starting with the 7 fillies who competed in last Wednesday's $109,000 Adirondack at 6.5 furlongs. The 4 to 5 pick here, Flat Fleet Feet under Mike Smith.
Coming down toward the last furlong now. Miner's Mirage is digging in. On the outside, Flat Fleet Feet is there. Here comes Western Dreamer splitting horses. And on the outside, Steady Cat. They're coming down to the last 16th. Flat Fleet Feet full out on the lead. Steady Cat, a final surge coming down to the 9. Flat Fleet Feet. Flat Fleet Feet in front.
That's right, or however you say it, Tom Durkin. Flat Fleet Feet, a announcer's nightmare. Scoring here in the Adirondack, taking the Grade 2 stake by a neck over the D. Wayne Lucas trained Steady Cat. Don't cry for D. Wayne, though. His weekend turned out pretty well, as you're about to see. As for Flat Fleet Feet, the Adirondack, her first stakes effort after an eye-popping maiden performance at Saratoga, where she romped by 9. Trainer John Kimmel, red hot at the spa, says his daughter of Canadian champion of Fleet will start next in the Spinaway at Saratoga, August 28th. Well, we spoke to you of D. Wayne Lucas, who had 2 juvenile winners this past weekend. One of those was Bright Launch, the second choice here in the $110,000 Saratoga Special at 6.5.
At the quarter pole, Bright Launch digs down at the rail. Editor's note, doing his best, trying to get by. But a determined Bright Launch will come to mid-stretch with a short lead and a host of pursuers. Aggie Southpaw trying to come on through. Here's Severe Clear charging hard. And on the outside, Devil's Honor. It's still Bright Launch. Devil's Honor coming hard, running out of ground. Bright Launch half length. Devil's Honor. Bright Launch ahead. Bright Launch a nose at the wire.
Well, Devil's Honor gives it his best shot, but just can't catch James Spence's Bright Launch, a base son of the Super Sire relaunch out of Burnished Bright. The D. Wayne Lucas trainee, piloted by Jose Santos, the man who would go on to win the Bernard Baruch with the New York bred 4 Stars All-Star. Will Santos and Bright Launch go on to the next and richest leg of the Saratoga Juvenile Series, the $200,000 hopeful stakes? Lucas has yet to say. The D. Wayne Lucas trained 2-year-old who impressed the most this past week, though, was the colt who scored big in Saturday's $200,000 sapling stakes as they go to Monmouth Park and watch Hennessy.
The quarter pole, racing a half in 45-4. Donna Barton looks behind, and Hennessy looks to have put them away. He's running off by 4. Coming down the stretch, it's Hennessy opening up with each and every stride. Racing in second is Cashier Coyote, then Built for Pleasure, followed by Cold Snap. But this colt is in a race of his own and a class of his own. Hennessy wins like a champ.
Bob and Beverly Lewis, the owners of the great 3-year-old filly Serena's Song, have another winner here in the 2-year-old colt Hennessy. A $500,000 Keeneland sales purchase, scoring his 3rd straight. He punished his field with that 9 3/4 length victory under jockey Donna Barton. The son of Stormcat out of Island Kitty has now earned back nearly half that purchase price, some $202,000. He'll try to add to that in his next start, likely to be the 7-furlong Del Mar Futurity on September 13th. And speaking of Del Mar, we'll head to the Seaside Track in Southern California with 2-year-old fillies in action there last Wednesday. The $104,000 6.5 furlong Sorrento Stakes. The front-running winner, the Bobby Baffert-trained Bat Royale. The filly headed briefly on the backstretch by Baffert's other entrant, Love on the Rail. But Bat Royale would shake Lucimer and go on to prevail here by 2 1/4 lengths under jockey Gary Stevens. The rider, by the way, who announced he's heading east, going to spend the fall riding full-time in New York. Bat Royale is now undefeated in 3 career starts, although this is her first win in the big leagues. Her other 2 wins came on the Northern California Fair Circuit at Solano and Pleasanton. Bat Royale, a daughter of Bataneer out of Royal Merger, trained by Baffert from Mr. and Mrs. Robert Walter. Del Mar also the site of a race for 3-year-olds going 1 mile and a 16th over the turf. The 55th running of the $130,000 La Jolla Handicap. Even money here, Louisiana Derby winner Patientville, trained by Randy Bradshaw, making his grass debut.
They get to the top of the lane in the La Jolla, and Private interviews the leader. Up alongside us, Flying Standby, then Long Liner. Patientville has to quicken. Extreme Outsiders, Synergetic, and Bowtime. The white cap going to try and swing one from the outside. Homeward Bound and Private Interview. Patientville now coming to take him on. Bowtime, the white cap on the outside, and Long Liner any one of 4, but Patientville doing best, and Patientville's going to win the La Jolla. Patientville has won it. Patientville from Private Interview. Bowtime fast closing third.
Patientville likes the grass just fine, winning by a length under a strong hand ride here from jockey Corey Nakatani, who pushed the son of Seeking the Goal through on the rail for the eventual win. Trainer Randy Bradshaw liked what he saw here. The La Jolla winner could start next in the September 17th Molson Million on Woodbine's new 1.5-mile turf course. Time now for our Breeders' Cup Horse of the Week. We'll go to Chicago for the $150,000 added Arlington Budweiser Breeders' Cup. It's her fillies and mares 3 and up on the grass at 1 mile and a 16th. On the lead as she has been since the start, the 4-year-old filly Golden Park, owned and bred in Florida by Centaur Farms. She's by Gold Meridian out of the alleged mare Par 3, ridden to victory here by Larry Melanson, trained by Niall O'Callahan. Golden Par earning a first-place check of $92,880, $60,000 of that in Breeders' Cup funds. Here are a couple of upcoming premium stakes races. We have quarter horse racing now from all over the nation this week. We'll begin in Iowa at Prairie Meadows for the MBNA Challenge event, the Central Claiming Stakes Challenge. Favorite in this 350-yard dash was Rockin' Easy Man, who would have a much easier time in the race than he actually had just getting to the track at Prairie Meadows.
Racing! Downtown Wrangler jumps alertly. Along the inside, Dash Passum is moving up. Medical Ease is right there, and down the center of the track comes Rockin' Easy Man. Rockin' Easy Man on the outside. Cowboy Medley, Rockin' Easy Man is won.
Rockin' Easy Man and jockey Steve Fuller first to the wire, a half length in front of Cowboy Medley. The winner owned by Gary Mueller, trained by Tim Williams. Rockin' Easy Man now will go on to the $50,000 added AQHA Claiming Stakes Challenge Championship November 11th. Let's hope his trip to that race is less eventful than it was this time. Rockin' Easy Man had to survive a trailer wreck en route to Prairie Meadows just a few days prior to the race. South out of Texas to Trinity Meadows, the $70,000 Speed Horse Sprint Futurity. The favorite here is Explode on Demand. The one to watch is Shazoom and the red cap on the rail under jockey David Brown. You'll see quickly that Shazoom gains command here of this race. Will go on to a 2.5 length victory. Shazoom, the best in the Speed Horse Sprint Futurity, a son of AQHA champion, taken on the cash, bred and owned by Kent Callahan. Shazoom has now won 5 of 6 lifetime starts under the care of trainer Bobby Melton. And while Shazoom was cruising to victory, the favorite Explode on Demand, who crossed the wire in second position, was disqualified to 7th for drifting in and bothering 6 heights. Our final stop to New Mexico, Ruidoso Downs, the high Easterjet handicap at 350 yards. Watch for the speedy mare here, 6 a runner.
Off and running in the High Easter Jet Handicap. Sharp start for Sixer Runner. Straight to the front. MD Hammer Time's right there with Old White Lightning on the inside and 3 runs on the outside. Sixer Runner's got the lead. Sixer Runner clear in front. Then MD Hammer Time and Old White Lightning. Sixer Runner impressive.
Despite being fractious in the starting gate, Sixer Runner displayed her usual early zip, scoring her 7th stakes victory. She also completed the 350 yards in a season best at Ruidoso of 17:54. Sixer Runner, who was second in the World Championship Classic in her last start, is owned by H. and Betty Henderson, trained by Toby Keaton, who recently finished second in the trainer standings at Remington Park in Oklahoma. For more information on racing's fastest breed, the American Quarter Horse, call toll-free 1-800-414-RIDE. Well, as you know, things can get a little strange near the beach in Del Mar, California. But this past Thursday, something really bizarre took place during the running of the 8th race. Let's take a look now at the race and the stretch. See the horses coming down the stretch, and look who's in front of them. A 38-year-old man identified as Russell Howard Caputo. He had jumped over the outside rail inside the 16th pole and joined the horses during the stretch drive, throwing his duffel bag out of the way. Riders did a great job to avoid him. Now watch this chase. Fortunately, no horses, riders, or Mr. Caputo were injured. He jumped over the inside rail, ran across the turf course, and as you see, soon was going to be apprehended by a few security people. Mr. Caputo was transferred to the County Mental Health Treatment Facility for evaluation. He was disqualified, his number taken down. He was not official in the race. By the way, 4-star Dave, one of the most popular New York breds of all time, will be honored this Friday in Saratoga with a street near the racetrack named in his honor. Also, Lure, 2-time Breeders' Cup Mile champion, will now stand at stud next year at Coolmore in Ireland. He had been, of course, at Claiborne Farm in Kentucky. We'll see you next week back here on the Racehorse Digest. So long, everyone. The Racehorse Digest has been brought to you by the United States Trotting Association, leading the way in harness racing, by the Breeders' Cup, racing's year-round national stakes program, and by the Illinois Department of Agriculture, promoting Illinois-bred horses year-round. Ground transportation provided by Thrifty Car Rental. For reservations at over 850 locations worldwide, call Thrifty at 1-800-4CARS. This has been a Winter Communications production in association with ESPN.